internet. So today I'm going to be doing my November wrap-up and my December TBR, and my November wrap-up is going to be pretty quick because I only read one book this month. It was just a crazy busy month for me, which you can probably tell by my lack of making videos this month because I just didn't have the time, and half the time I didn't even know what day it was because I was just in such an auto mode that I didn't even know. So I only read one book this month, but I'm glad that I at least got that one read because I was really getting afraid that I wouldn't even finish that one that I'd been reading. So I'm glad I at least finished one, and I'm hoping to have a better reading month in December. And even though I know December's going to be busy as well, I'm going to try a little bit harder. Plus, I got some of my reading time taken away towards the beginning of the month when I was attempting to do NaNoWriMo, which I ultimately stopped trying to do, but I'm going to make an entire other video about that. So if you want to know why I stopped doing Nano this month, be on the lookout for that. And I'm just gonna get into the wrap-up now. So the one book that I read in the month of November was A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab, and I'm really excited that I finally got this book read because it had been on many TBRs for many months, and this is the sequel to A Darker Shade of Magic, and they're part of the Shades of Magic series, which is an adult fantasy series. A Darker Shade of Magic was kind of my first book in the adult fantasy genre, and I read it last year. I bought it whenever I was actually in London, which is why I have the UK covers of the books, because since I bought the first one in the UK cover, I had to buy the second one in the UK cover, and then when the third one comes out next year, which I think is in February, I'll have to buy the UK cover of that one as well. So yay for Book Depository. But anyway, I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was fairly good, but I also thought it was very slow in the middle. It took me a while to get through the middle part. The beginning of it was really intriguing. I got hooked on it immediately, and then it just got really slow, and so it was a bit harder to get through, and with as busy as I was, I didn't feel that need to read it. You know what I mean? Because it was just at a really slow part. But then the last 100 pages or so, again, were super intense. I got really into it. So I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I honestly think I liked the first one more, but then it's been a year since I've read it, so I only have kind of like a vague idea of what my thoughts were, especially since I hadn't started BookTube yet, and I didn't really do a lot of reviews on Goodreads other than star ratings. But I think I still liked the first one more. I'm really excited about the third one. This is going to be a trilogy, so there's only going to be one more, and this one ended on quite the cliffhanger. So I'm really looking forward to the third one coming out. It's called A Conjuring of Light. So that's it for my November wrap-up. Now we're going to move on to my December TBR. I'm going a little ambitious as far as what I know I'm actually going to be able to accomplish this month, because I know I'm not going to get all these books read, but my December TBR is kind of a mixture of books I know I want to read by the end of the year, plus currently reading, plus some holiday-ish books, because especially since I read a fantasy book the entirety of last month, I kind of want to read a little more contemporary this month, which is perfect because there are a lot of kind of Christmassy books that are contemporary. But I've also got some fantasy books in here as well that I want to just try to get through by the end of the month. So we'll start with what I'm currently reading, as always. I am still reading Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I did get a couple of chapters of this read this month as well, so I'm hoping that I can get some more of this read this month. Maybe a good chunk of it read this month, even though I doubt I'll finish it because I don't think I'm ever going to finish it. I know I'm gonna finish it, it just feels like I'm never gonna finish it. And by the way, I was still reading Persuasion by Jane Austen, but I decided to DNF this book because I just cannot get into it, and I'm gonna try with a different Jane Austen book later on, but this one I just couldn't get into. Wanted to let y'all know that I DNF'd this one. And then last night after I finished A Gathering of Shadows, I started Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This is the OwlCrate exclusive cover. I actually have 2 copies of this book because I bought one at a Marissa Meyer signing, and then I got this one in OwlCrate, but I'm reading the other copy. I was just too lazy to put the dust jacket back on it. See it up there? So I just grabbed my second copy for the video, but I'm about 30-something pages in, and I really like it so far. I think Marissa Meyer's writing style works really well for this story. Basically, This story is a prequel to Alice in Wonderland about the Queen of Hearts, so it's kind of her origin story. It follows a girl named Catherine who loves to bake things, and obviously we all know who the Queen of Hearts is. She ends up becoming evil, so I know kind of how the book's going to end. I'm just really curious to see how we get there, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. Marissa Meyer is the author of the Lunar Chronicles, which are sci-fi retellings of fairy tales, and so far, like I said, I really like her writing style for this story, so I'm really enjoying it so far, and this is one of my most anticipated books of 2016, so I'm really looking forward to finishing it. As far as the rest of my TBR for the month, I'm going to go ahead and get the other fantasy books out of the way so we can get to the Christmassy ones. So this month I also would really love to finish up the Christian Trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. So I have both Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising to get to. I would like to read both of these this month. If nothing else, I definitely want to read Siege and Storm, and if worst comes to worst, I can read Ruin and Rising in January, but I really want to try and say I finished this trilogy this year because I also really want to get to Crooked Kingdom in January, and I've been told, you know, you don't necessarily have to finish the Grisha trilogy to enjoy Crooked Kingdom, but you'll get more out of it if you do. And so I want to read Crooked Kingdom in January for Diversathon. So I gotta read these two books, but I definitely want to read this one this month. Hopefully this one as well, but we'll see. And then this month I also really would like to read A Dog's Purpose by W. Bruce Cameron, and this book is going to be a movie next month, one that I really want to see, and it is basically about a dog's purpose in life. I believe it follows a dog who he's with a certain owner, and then once the dog dies he is reborn as a different dog, and so he serves a different purpose based on whoever's dog he is. It just sounds like it's going to be a really beautiful story. At least that is the synopsis that I got from watching the trailer. So other than that, I kind of want to go into this book blind, but I've heard really good things. It's not very long. It's just a little bit over 300 pages, and I think it's just going to be a beautiful story, so I really want to get to this month. Obviously, I love dogs, hence my username, and most of the time you can hear mine playing in the background of my videos, even though I'm actually not in my room for this one. It's kind of weird. And now on to the Christmassy books on my December TBR. The first one will be a reread for me, and that is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Now, even though this is a reread for me, I haven't read it since 7th grade, which was 10 years ago. Anyway, not gonna think about that. So this is a very short book. I'm pretty sure all of you probably know the story of A Christmas Carol, but it's been a while since I've read it. I want to read it again. I'm thinking about maybe saving this one for Holiday BookTubeathon, which is the 29th, 30th, and 31st of December. I'm hoping that this will fit into some of the categories, but I don't know what the categories are yet. But I'm going to kind of save this one for the end of the month regardless, because I know I can finish it really quickly, and hopefully this will work for Holiday BookTubeathon and I can use it as one of my books. I also really want to read My True Love Gave to Me, which has stories by a lot of authors. I'll read the list off. Holly Black, Allie Carter, Matt De La Pena, Gail Foreman, Jenny Han, David Levithan, Kelly Link, Myra McIntyre, Stephanie Perkins, Rainbow Rowell, Laini Taylor, and Kirsten White, and it is edited by Stephanie Perkins. And I think this will be just a perfect book for the month of December. It's got a lot of different stories in it, so maybe I can read like a couple stories at a time, read something else for a little while, come back to it, that kind of thing. So I think this is going to be the perfect book for this month, and I've heard really good things about this anthology. And the last book on my December TBR is What Light by Jay Asher. Jay Asher is the author of 13 Reasons Why, which is one of my favorite books of all time, and I have heard really good things about this contemporary story. You can tell by the cover that it's Christmassy because it's got kind of Christmas lights in the title, and this is about a girl who her family sells Christmas trees on a Christmas tree farm kind of at this time of year, and I know that it's a romance, and I think it's just going to be a great book to read this time of year. So far I've heard good things, and also I bought a signed copy from Barnes & Noble on Black Friday, which was really cool. Really excited about that. So that is it for my November wrap-up and December TBR. Let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these books. of course keeping those thoughts spoiler free. And that will be it for this video, and I will see you guys next time with another video.